Wonder Woman was finally soaring. After decades of development hell, the first film delivered a powerful, inspiring hero and a massive box office win. So, how did the sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, crash so hard that it effectively ended the franchise? Well, part of the answer might have something to do with Donald Trump. Let's break it down. When Wonder Woman premiered in 2017, it was a cultural moment. A long overdue female-led superhero film that actually worked emotionally, commercially, and symbolically. Patty Jenkins delivered something refreshing in a genre saturated with cynicism. A film with heart, idealism, and a lead who could genuinely inspire. Wonder Woman wasn't just a win for Warner Brothers, it was a long overdue representation of a powerful female superhero who was finally treated with narrative respect. Gal Gadot brought warmth, strength, and dignity to the role, and Jenkins crafted a character that didn't need to be edgy or broken to be heroic. The film resonated with audiences and critics, so naturally expectations were high for the sequel. Same director, same actress, bigger budget. What could go wrong? Wonder Woman 1984 seemed like it had everything going for it. The return of Steve Trevor, a new villain played by the talented Pedro Pascal. But from its very first trailer, something felt off. Pedro Pascal's Max Lord is the film's central villain, a desperate, egomaniacal businessman who acquires a magical stone that grants wishes, but at a devastating cost. He promises people whatever they want, takes more than he gives, and brings the world to the brink of collapse. Yeah, it's not subtle. Max Lord is clearly modeled after Donald Trump, particularly from the 1980s era. Brash, greedy, image-obsessed, and hollow. Jenkins has even confirmed the connection in interviews. So instead of a timeless villain with mythic stakes, we get a caricature of Trump as a snake oil salesman with a magic rock. It feels like the film is less interested in telling a Wonder Woman story and more interested in warning us about the dangers of capitalist wish fulfillment. Which, okay, may be valid. But does that make for a good superhero film? Not only did the tone shift, but so did the narrative intent. Instead of a timeless myth, we got a weirdly specific political allegory, and the movie paid the price. Even the title Wonder Woman 1984 seems to wear its metaphor on its sleeve. Not just a nod to the era's aesthetics, but a wink to George Orwell's dystopian novel. Big Brother, oppressions, manipulation. Again, ambitious ideas. But they clash with the sincerity and mythos of Wonder Woman. The 80s setting, while trendy thanks to retro media like Stranger Things, isn't used here for meaningful world building. It's mostly a backdrop to contextualize Max Lord as a reflection of Trump's rise to cultural prominence through media, wealth, and illusion. But while that idea might sound good on paper, it collapses under the weight of a flimsy script and inconsistent tone. The real anchor dragging this movie down, though? The Wishing Stone, a vague, poorly explained plot device that makes and breaks the rules as the plot demands. There's no internal logic. People make wishes, then renounce them. Sometimes they get what they want, sometimes they don't. The consequences are inconsistent. It's magic with no rules, and that's a problem. It's basically the art of the deal in magic rock form. Promise anything, deliver chaos. Just like Trump's deal-making style, it's all about immediate gratification with long-term consequences. Everyone who takes the deal thinks they're getting ahead, but the cost is hidden and the fallout? Global. The stone doesn't care who it hurts as long as it gets what it wants. Kind of like, oh, come on, you get it. Then there's Cheetah, played by Kristen Wiig, who feels like a studio mandate. Her entire arc is thin, underdeveloped, and ultimately irrelevant to the film's central conflict. She's presented like a main villain, but serves more like a distraction, a missed opportunity. When Wonder Woman 84 finally released, it underperformed. Critically, commercially, and in terms of cultural impact. What was meant to be a triumphant sequel instead became a cautionary tale about what happens when a superhero movie forgets to be, well, super. And the ironic thing? Wonder Woman, who was once a symbol of universal hope and heroism, got sidelined in her own movie so the director could punch at Trumpism with a glitter cannon. To be clear, this isn't about protecting Trump or saying superhero movies should be apolitical. They never have been. The best ones reflect the world around us while still honoring the characters that anchor them. Wonder Woman 1984 forgot that balance. It tried to make a point rather than tell a story. It chose to preach instead of entertain. And in the process, it sidelined the very person it was supposed to elevate, Diana's character. That's the real tragedy. By forcing Wonder Woman into the role of political mouthpiece, the film ironically disempowered her, turning an icon of strength, wisdom, and grace into a side character in someone else's metaphor. Was the movie as successful as the first one? No. Did it stop Trump from getting reelected? Also no. All it really did was burn the goodwill of a promising franchise, confuse its fan base, and spoil what could have been a powerful, character-driven sequel. Let's get one thing straight. Patty Jenkins didn't ruin Wonder Woman on purpose. If anything, she loved the character. Maybe too much. Jenkins saw Diana Prince as more than a superhero. She saw her as a role model, especially for young girls who had grown up seeing male heroes save the world while women were sidelined. From the beginning, Jenkins was intentional. She wanted Wonder Woman to be a symbol of compassion, strength, and moral clarity. Someone girls could look up to, not just for her power, but for her principles. That's why Wonder Woman resonated. It gave the world a female hero who fought not out of vengeance or trauma, but out of love. And that felt empowering. But here's where good intentions went sideways. By placing Diana on a pedestal, Jenkins unintentionally stripped away her complexity. In Wonder Woman 1984, the focus shifted from growth and challenge to idealized virtue. Diana could barely struggle or fail, because role models, in Jenkins's mind, had to be infallible. The result? A hero who preaches empathy but rarely confronts emotional depth. A movie that dodges hard questions in favor of broad gestures and bright colors. A story where the villain isn't truly evil, and the hero's biggest moral dilemma, giving up her magically resurrected boyfriend. Jenkins wanted girls to walk out of the theater feeling empowered, but instead of inspiring them with a strong, complex woman, she gave them a sanitized icon frozen in time. Diana became less of a character and more of a symbol. And symbols, no matter how noble, don't always make for great storytelling. So yes, Jenkins cared. But in trying to protect Wonder Woman's image, she forgot what made her human. Wonder Woman deserved better, and so did her audience. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, consider subscribing for more essays like this. Drop a comment below. Did you like Wonder Woman 1984? Was it misunderstood, or was it just a misfire? Until next time, stay curious, stay critical,